Mastery is a measure of being in the flow. So, the flow of life is all around you. Mastery is being so powerfully in the flow that you create your life effortlessly. So this message is for us this week. Are you creating your life effortlessly? Are you in the flow, or do you feel like you're paddling uphill? Do you have things happening and attracting things to you in an easily, graceful way? Or has it been really difficult sometimes? So a lot of times, if we don't get what we want in our life, oftentimes what happens is we beat ourselves up, don't we? We feel bad, we feel guilty, we should have, we could have. You know, we're turning 60 this year, so it's like, where did my life go? Why did this happen this way? I coulda, woulda, shoulda. And so we beat ourselves up and feel guilty about it sometimes. And so when we're in the flow, things just sort of happen for us. And then what that means is, if you're feeling bad about what you don't have right now, or if you feel like you should be in a different place in your life, then you feel guilty. And so guilt demands punishment. So the thing I want to share with you right now is that if you feel like you have not been in the flow, or maybe you've been in and out of the flow, because you can tell the difference, right? Sometimes you're in the flow and sometimes you're not. So if you're feeling guilty, though, that's going to demand punishment, meaning that that's the energy that you're sending out. That's the energy that you're sending out into the world, that I'm guilty. And so what happens in a courtroom? Guilty demands punishment. And so what we end up doing, subconsciously, I know no one thinks this, okay, but subconsciously, we attract people to us that will either punish us or we self-sabotage. So just think about, do I do that? Do I self-sabotage? Things are kind of going smooth, and then all of a sudden, bam, something happens, and then I self-sabotage myself. I almost made it, almost got the promotion, almost got the person that I wanted, whatever it is. And then we self-sabotage it on a subconscious level. I know that nobody sits around and thinks about, I'm going to self-sabotage myself today. It's all subconscious. It's in that bubble talk. And that's why I'm doing these series, so I can pull a card for us to say, you know what? Maybe not so much. Maybe there's another way to be. Maybe if we understand how being a masters in our life is making small corrections and not beating ourselves up. Mastery is making small corrections without invalidating ourselves. So it's called trim tabbing. Sort of like it's what Buckminster Fuller talks about, and what sailors do. They trim tab. They course correct. They course correct without invalidating themselves, because you're learning. As long as you're playing in the world, you're learning. And as long as you're learning, you're growing. And as long as you're growing, you're participating. And as long as you're participating, you're creating. The minute you stop participating, you stop creating, you stop having an effect in the world. And maybe you don't get what you want. Maybe things just don't turn out the way you want. But I'm here to tell you this, that if you just understand this one concept about mastery as being in the flow, and understanding the difference between when you're in the flow and when you're out of the flow, and what do you do when you're out of the flow? What happens? How do you respond to that? Do you react to that and say, I'm stupid? So do you just beat yourself up? No. My suggestion is this. If you find yourself feeling guilty and beating yourself up, just remember that all you have to do is say, I'm course correcting, without invalidating myself. Because what is the opposite of guilt? Innocence. So look at yourself in the mirror every morning and say, I'm innocent. Take a deep breath and say it 10 times, looking yourself in the mirror, saying, I am innocent. I choose to be innocent. And so that will help you in feeling better about yourself, feeling more innocent. That little girl or that little boy inside of you, all they want to do is play. They haven't gone anywhere. They're still there. And so as we get older, we think, well, we should be at a certain level in our life. And we should have already done certain things in our life and accomplished so many things. So I just want to say, I love you. I am grateful for this day. I'm grateful for all of the people in my life that have made such a difference, and I'm here to reflect on what this really means about being in the flow and allowing myself to be the true master that we all are and that I am. And that bubble talk, that subconscious thought that's there that might be beating myself up for saying I could have been in a different place by now, really, it's really owning my own innocence again. To say, I am perfect just the way I am, and I am innocent, and that little girl inside of me just wants to play. And therefore, any corrections that I make throughout my life, it's just course correcting. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean that I haven't done well, or that I'm not showing up the way I'd like sometimes. It just means that I'm course correcting. I'm off course a little bit. So being a master is really understanding the flow of life. So my advice, if you choose to accept it, is just take a deep breath, look in the mirror every day and say, you are innocent, and you just got burged.